Alright, my audio is back on. Everything should be fine with maybe a minute of lag. As you can see, I've got the to-do list up. Let's check the chat. Got 2 people watching. Hi there, everyone. We've got a lot to do for once. So I'm just gonna start with this piece from last time as a bit of a warm-up, just to get back in the swing of things. This is Trix from Miraculous Ladybug. I'm not sure because I haven't been following the European broadcasts, but did it turn out that Trix was actually a dude? Because I saw a post that was like, it's not a girl, where that, from that, I think it looked like an episode of Friends with the it's a boy poster, but it turned out to be a girl, so they took Sharpie and wrote, it's not a girl. I don't know, if anybody knows, let me know, you know? But I ended up basically tracing the reference image, just because these are requests. I'm trying to get them done quickly. There was a thing that happened after my last batch of requests that it's made me kind of like not want to draw for a little bit, but then I thought, you know, the best thing I can do is draw. You know, even though I don't feel like it, because, you know, it's like, I mean, if, let's just say some people were nasty because they didn't like how their requests turned out. Even though, you know, it's not like I get paid to draw these. I just draw them for fun. And, you know, sometimes they're not going to turn out well. Anyone who has looked at my gallery and the history of these requests is going to know that. So I thought, you know, in this case, really the best thing I can do is just keep drawing. And, like, I'm not gonna pretend that my feelings weren't hurt. 'Cause, you know, it kinda sucks when you do something, and then people are like, this thing that you did for free is not up to snuff. But, so I'm not gonna pretend my feelings aren't hurt. I'm just gonna keep drawing anyway. So that's what's going on here. But anyway, Trix, whatever they are, I'm not sure what pronoun to use, so I will be using the singular they, which is a thing in English, even though, like, it's been a thing in British English for a while, and it's a thing in colloquial American English. So, I'm just gonna say it's a thing. So, they are a very cute Kwame. Regardless of whether they're a boy or a girl. Or neither, because I mean, like, what would some weird deity thing that lives in a piece of jewelry be, you know? I don't know, it's one of those things where, it's one of those things where, like, people refer to boats by she. It just feels weird to me. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know where I was going with this. Like, linguistic gender is a weird thing. Because in Spanish, all dresses are male. They take masculine pronouns and adjectives. And it's weird. Because, I mean, culturally, culturally, dresses aren't particularly associated with men. But, whatever. Like I said, it's weird. It doesn't have to make sense. Because, you know, it's just language. Anyway, so that's my language rant for today. But, I'm excited to get on to other stuff. Because we've got some pretty cool stuff happening this stream. And I just want to finish getting warmed up with this piece. You know, since I started it last stream. And like I was saying earlier, I think that for once I can say with absolute certainty that there is no way we're getting this to-do list done this week, which means I can finally build up my queue of requests and just go with it now. Just with an established, this is what we're doing this week kind of thing. So that's nice. I'm really happy about that. It also means that I may have improved by the time I get around to any new requests. So you never quite know what quality the next batch of requests is gonna be. But I'm just really happy about finally having this queue, because that was one of the things I set up to do. I've also got 24 subscribers right now, and I really need to make my 25 subscriber video, just to let you guys know that I do appreciate you guys sitting here and watching me draw stuff and ramble all the time. Because, I mean, just that's a huge compliment that you take time out of your day to basically pay attention to me. And I appreciate it, because that can't be, I don't know, I don't know, to me it would feel like work. But thank you guys so much. I know I'm not at that magic 25 yet, but I'm excited for it. Okay, I think all my line art's closed. Let me... Yes! Let me just do that so that it's filled in. And then I can go to my reference and select the colors I need. And hopefully fill them on a different layer than the one that my line art's on. I'm not sure if they... Okay, they do not use pure white. They use... they also use an off-white, but they use a bluish one. That's cool. Let's see, I am really excited for the American release of Season 2 of this show. In case you couldn't tell. I've been interested in this show since about Season 1. I think the episode that really hooked me on it was Mr. Pigeon. So, take that how you will. There was just something about there was just something about it that, the episode Mr. Pigeon just appeals to me because it is unapologetically absurd. And I don't know, I like that in a world where superhero movies are often like these grim, dark things under the guise of realism. You know? It's nice to have some lighthearted fun where why not have a Mr. Pigeon? You know? So that was how I got into the show. If you watch it, let me know how you got into it, because, like, that's another thing, I just really, I feel like people who criticize, this show, like, it needs to be more serious, don't quite get the point of it, because it doesn't feel like it is supposed to be serious, you know? It's supposed to be just some dumb fun, with superheroes and stuff, you know? And I think there is definitely something to be said for that. But I've already said that a lot of times, so just, there we go. Fade that out. Yeah, et voila. Almost. There we go. I'm just gonna, hold on. There we go. I can delete on that layer, and then I get to fill in the mouth, and then I'll just dab some highlights in the eyes. I'm glad my webcam isn't on, because I was so tempted to actually dab, and then I realized that nobody would be able to see that, so alright, that looks good. Let me just check that the teeth are filled in using my background color. Hold on. Okay, I've got one tooth that needs to be filled in, but let me zoom in, grab this color, go down to my pen, do-do-do. There we go. The tooth is filled in, and now I can save this, and then let me just export a transparent PNG. I'll go 800 by 800. Okay. Tricks. There we go. I forgot to fill in the mouth, but I will re-export that later. And now I can go and actually check the chat and see what's up. Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. I'm glad you're actually able to watch. These things happen. You have to build up a bit of a thick skin, you know? But if it happens to you, just, I'm not, like, it's, people always tell you you gotta be tough, you can't feel, you know, you can't feel put out by it, but, I mean, the truth is, feel put out by it. It's incredibly hard not to feel put out by it, so, I think what people have this tendency to associate moving on with not being upset, which is not. It's one thing to be upset and just move on anyway, and it's another thing to let it stop you from doing stuff. And I think a lot of people think that if you let yourself feel upset, you'll stop doing stuff, and that's just, you can't let it stop you, is the point. But I think I am going to start having a policy that says, you know, with requests, you get what you get. You know, you want quality, you can, you know, you get what you pay for, basically. So, only, I guess with requests, you're getting more than what you pay for. But that's fine. There's a lot more stuff to talk about. Like this, the guy really only gave me the description that no horns or fangs, just scales. But all he said other than that was that his dragon OC was bipedal and white. So, with red eyes too, he said that. So, this probably looks very little like what he imagined. But, you know, there's only so much I can do without proper reference images and stuff, which is why I have added my social media links and contact info to text in the actual video. Just so that I am that much easier to get a hold of with things like references and descriptions. Because, I mean, I get the point of Instagram isn't to be able to properly talk to artists and give them everything that they need. Like, the direct message feature doesn't even let you do separate paragraphs. So, I'm trying to make it easier to talk to me with your requests and hopefully commissions. Hopefully commissions too, because, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I took my bike out yesterday to make sure it still worked after not being used all winter, because honestly, who wants to ride a bike when it's freezing out? I took my bike out and, eventually, probably by the end of this summer, I'm gonna need new tires. And, like, good tires that can handle the lack of quality of the roads in small-town rural America. They run about $25 a pop. So, I'm gonna need $50 for tires, and then I'm going to also look into getting some extra wheel lights, and a rear view mirror. And that is going to cost money, which I am happy to earn fair and square by drawing stuff. So, hopefully making my contact info a little more readily available will lead to a few more commissions so that I can get on that. Because if my bike is in working order and it's safe to take it out, then maybe I can go and look into getting a real job, at least part-time. because with a real, well, I say real job in air quotes, but I mean, there's some fast food places open. Hopefully I can find one that doesn't engage in some egregious health code violations like the last one I worked at. And just so we're perfectly clear, I don't eat at the place that I used to work at. The only thing that I would recommend getting there, and if you know me, you know where that place was, but the only thing that I would really say is alright to get there is ice cream, and guess who's lactose intolerant? So I don't eat there, because the only thing that I'm okay with eating, because you can watch the person that's making it, it does not agree with me. And just, I don't know, they make really good fries, but you can buy a bag of fries big enough to feed the entire family at your local grocery store, and it's just, and it's about the same price as getting a fry there. So, there's really not much point in going there since I quit. But now some of you may be wondering, don't employers make you sign an NDA? And the answer is, I worked at one place that did, but that was more to protect their recipes, and they were hardcore about staying clean. The hardcore place about staying clean, they are tzatziki's, and their food is delicious, and it's certified fresh. So, their stuff is really good. I'm not going to name the other place that I worked at, but I will say that it's also a popular board game. So take that how you will. So there you go. I'm going to save this, and this is 2800 by 3500. I think I can divide those both by 7. 3500 divided by hold on, 3500 divided by 7 is 500, so 400 by 500 should work. Alright, file, export, 400 by 500 beneath the specifalons OC. Save. So I'm gonna check the chat now, and then I'm gonna get on to the next one, which is Axel Dixon, who belongs to The Good, the Bad, and the Ex-Boy, and I picked out a color scheme based on their reference that they had on their DeviantArt. So yeah, that is way too thick. Let's go with a 15. That's better. And I still have my correction all the way up on 23. But, let's see. I'm pretty happy with how this sketch came out. I don't usually do that well with broader faces. So it was nice that this one turned out pretty well. Oh yeah, my reference is set to canvas here. Duh. It's not perfect, but I was pretty nervous about how this particular piece would come out. Let's see, very square jaw, cheekbone there, and an ear here. The cool thing about ears is you can put almost anything you want inside them and it'll look all right to the untrained eye. Like, they're pretty tough to draw realistically, but if you're just going for something kind of cartoony, you know, nobody really cares. Even if you don't fill them in, Disney doesn't really fill in their ears. I have found they kind of, I don't know, it's weird. But then again, I imagine it would be harder to animate a filled in ear. I don't know. There's all kinds of different artistic approaches, and every single, well, most of them suffice. Okay, my arm is itchy. Don't know why that is. But I'm just gonna finish drawing this guy. And then I can move on to one that might take up the rest of the stream. But I am really happy with the sketch. I showed it to the person first, and I got her permission to use that particular sketch. So, I'm excited to see how it turns out. But in light of the incident with the people who were not satisfied with the way their request came out, I have decided that from now on, if you ask me to draw you, take it with a grain of salt, and I'm probably going to try to include some aspect of your username in the piece, just to give it a little extra flair. Instead of just drawing you straight up, instead of like just actually doing a portrait, because I am not a portraiture artist. I can do it, I just, like, I don't have portraiture training. I did not go to a school to draw portraits. You know, I'm at my most comfortable dealing with fictional characters. So, I mean, drawing real people, it puts me off. And I hope that that did not put you guys off. Let's see, oh wait, I meant to set my reference to the canvas. Sorry, my throat's doing stuff now. Like, I mean, the short answer is I can draw you, but I really would rather not. And I don't even mean that in a rude way, it's just, if you have a chef who specializes in savory dinner foods and you ask them to bake you a cake, you know, chances are they can bake you a cake and it's gonna taste alright, but, you know, it's not gonna be as good as a pastry chef's cake is gonna be, you know? So yeah, from now on I'm just not going to be drawing people and claiming any sort of accurate representation, especially not for requests. Just 'cause, you know, I get it, it's you, you want it to look like the best you that I can possibly draw. But, you know, there are artists who make their living doing portraits, you know, it's not, it's not like I'm really the best option here, you know. Anyway, let me just select this to shade the hair because I had an effect that I wanted to do. Because the hair is kind of a reddish brown, but because of the way that the reference image was taken, I can't quite, I couldn't quite get the exact color that I wanted to show. So, there are ways to trick the eye into seeing what you want it to see. And I'm really glad for tricks like that. There we go. And then I take this color, bring my brush down, ease of mixing colors to 0. There we go. And that'll come across, hopefully better, as the kind of reddish brown I was looking for. Hopefully. Ideally, maybe. Alright. But, yeah, if anybody knows an artist who's really good with portraits, please let me know. Or if you are an artist who's really good with portraits, so I can start recommending you to people. And hopefully keep my work... It's really hard to say within... I don't want to say within my comfort zone, because I'm okay with challenging myself. I guess, not necessarily within my comfort zone, but within my preferred area of expertise. And then we'll go really saturated here, and then a very desaturated highlight. Like this. And yeah, that looks alright. So I'm just going to save that, and then I'm going to check the chat, and then I'm going to move on to the next piece. Okay, nothing new going on in the chat. So this is the piece I was really excited to get to. I'm going to open up the reference that she sent me. I had to save it to my phone and then share it to Drive and then and do all kinds of stuff because Instagram doesn't work from the which is honestly my biggest problem with the platform on a mechanical level, just because, you know, actually let me do some line art. I'm gonna go with a slightly lighter version of this color. And then let's see. I want to do transparent background. Make that very light. Then I'm gonna go up. I'm probably going to use that pink color for the outside of the crystal. Just to, actually, oh yeah, that is not what I wanted to do for the opacity of these lines. I wanted to do that. And then I hope this turns out the way I imagined it, because I had a pretty cool concept in mind. This person's screen name is Crystal Orchid, so I decided to draw her as like a flower queen on a throne that is actually a crystal orchid shape. And she thought it was cool, so so that's what we're going with. I'm really excited for this, if it turns out right. If it doesn't turn out right, then I'm not excited for it, but let's see. Already the glasses are giving me trouble. What else is new? Even my own glasses don't, like, not even from a drawing standpoint, I don't like glasses. I wear them because it's easier than contacts. Because, I mean, if my glasses get fogged up, I can wipe them off and stuff. But if my contact starts giving me trouble, there's not much I can do about that. I don't know, I would very much like to get my eyes fixed one day, but a lot of my problem is not actually fixable by surgical means. Because some of my problem is actually in the optic nerve itself, and that only has so much that can be done about it. So there's really not much point in fixing the other problems. It's like getting your camera lens fixed, but, you know, it's like getting your camera lens fixed if it's not transmitting the image to the SD card, you know? There's not much of a point. But who knows where medical science is going to go in the next few decades. Maybe they'll figure out how to grow back optic nerves. That would be cool. I don't really see myself, like, I've heard talk of actually, working on bionic eyes, which may just be rumor, you know, but I don't think that I would go for that. On the off chance that perception of color is actually unique to your own eyes, I would have to relearn. I would have to relearn my colors. And, oh boy, that would take a while. Just because, I mean, if it turns out that I don't actually, that what I perceive as red isn't actually what everybody else sees as red, and if your perception of color really is unique, but, you know, you learn to see colors using a set of words that everybody agrees on, you know, it would be interesting. So, yeah, on the off chance that perception of color really is unique, then there is a chance that someone with bionic eyes would have to relearn all their colors. Which could be an interesting concept to write about, but I would not want to live that. Because that would be so much to get used to. And I know it actually seems kind of like a silly reason, but I mean, I do art, guys, you know? Color is kind of important to me. Let's see. I referenced an orchid pendant for this, but this is actually holding up the dress in this image. I'm probably gonna mess with the hue and saturation of the line art layer here. But I don't know. I feel ambitious with this one, guys. I just really do feel ambitious. This pose was actually probably taken from a disreputable magazine, if you catch my drift. But I don't know, I just Google searched majestic pose because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. You know what? It wasn't taken from a disreputable magazine because I'm pretty sure it had a stock image thing over it. I don't know because I didn't save it. Because I figure once I have my actual sketch, I don't need to go back and consult the other image too much, because at this point, you know, I know where her bones and stuff are in this piece. So really the only things that I need to be careful of are what's specific to the reference the person gave me, if that makes any sense to you guys. So, let's see. There's the dress. Alright, and then we've got her knee here. And for the life of me, I could not find a reference of this pose which had the feet in it. So these feet are seriously fudged. But I'm doing what I can with them. Let's see, I might go completely off sketch here, or at least make the foot seem a bit bigger. And there's one slipper, and I could stand smooth out this line art here. It's a little hairy. There we go. There's one. And then here's the second foot. Let's see. But yeah, never mind what I said about the pose reference. I think it actually was a stock image. I'll have to find it and post the link to it. Now, when I did look for a version of the picture for a version of basically the same pose but with feet, that was when I came across a lot of disreputable places. I don't know. It was late. I was tired. I could not find a version of this that had feet. So there we go. Ugh, that hand is so derpy. Let me get up close here and just try to fix it and hopefully not make it worse. There we go. Gonna fix this thumb too. That thumb was not an okay thumb. This is a slightly less okay thumb, but I'm just gonna go here and boom, like this. The color scheme I've picked for this is significantly warmer than the color scheme in the image she sent me. But for now, I'm going to go in with this pink. Ugh. I cannot seem to stay up lately, but I'm gonna go in with this pink. And draw the crystal structure here. Now what I was actually planning to do with this crystal structure is add a gradient to it to really make it look more crystalline. But crystal and glass things are surprisingly hard to shade. Let's see, that's gonna go behind there. And like that. And this line art is not closed, but I have an idea of what I'm gonna do to make it work. And I realized that orchids actually have 5 petals, not 4. So I learned something doing the sketch for this piece. You know, learning stuff like this is why I take on requests, because sometimes they really open doors to trying new things. And it's a lot of fun, you know. Alright, now I'm just going to make this bigger and right. I'm gonna have to go to a new layer for this cursive bit. Hold on. Crystal. I'm gonna have to rewrite that. O R O R C H I D. I'm not a typographer either. And I have to redraw that again because that's okay. Maybe I can fake cursive. There we go. That looks better. I'm just gonna have to transform it a little. There we go. I can actually stand to make this a little bit smaller. There we go. Alright, so that should suffice. View. Let's go down to that. So we've got our background back. Let's see. Person, crystal, orchid, throne. And I'm just gonna lock all of these layers so that I can delete the sketch and hopefully make this make some more sense. Let's test some skin tones. On this layer. Yeah, that looked a little too red in the color select, but it actually looks pretty fleshy right now. So I can delete that, and then I can go in with my pen, and then I'll select from the canvas here. And that's okay because I am just gonna paint in everything. Actually, let's see what happens if I go up here and change my reference to the layer. Yeah, that works. And then I can fix the hair in a second. There we go. Actually doesn't look red enough anymore. But that's okay. Alright. I need to block in some color here too. And then I can go to filter, hue, bring up the saturation, shift it a little more to the red side. Keep the brightness maybe a little higher. There we go. Color theory. It's always interesting. So let's fill this in. Not like that. There's her hair. Maybe a little darker. Yeah, I think darker is going to work better for the hair. And then her glasses are going to be almost black. There we go. Now I can take this and use a lighter color for the whites of her eyes. And then I'm probably going to use almost a completely desaturated gray, but it should read as greenish to bluish. I could probably go a little more desaturated with that. And probably darker. There we go. Then I can use the same color here for that. And I'm going to need a really dark red for her lips. Well, that works for her upper lip. I'll need to lighten it up a bit for the lower one. That's better. Now I'm going to take this and really desaturate it for the pendant here. And then with a really light gray for that. And then I actually do think I could stand to lighten that up. That was maybe a little too dark. And for her dress, we'll go with that red. And now for the actual crystal structure of the orchid throne. Because if there's one thing that I can never not be, it's dramatic. Or if there's one thing... No, I meant exactly how I said that. I can never seem to not be dramatic. Darn, I can't actually... Hold on. We've got 3 minutes left, but that is okay. So I think I can... No, it's not letting me make a straight line while using the select tool. That's kind of funky. I'm probably actually going to come back to this next stream after I draw some of the other stuff. Because I really like how this was turning out. It's one of the other things that I really wish had actually been commissioned so that I could justify spending 5 hours on it. You know? Let me actually view background color. Hold on, cancel. View transparent background. And that should let me see where I'm selecting a little bit easier. And it's actually coming up on 3 o'clock, so what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to finish selecting this, and then I'm going to sign off. No, I'll finish selecting this, and then I'll fill in a background color for it, and then I'll sign off. So this is actually running a little bit long, but I think it's totally going to be worth it, hopefully. Let's see, there's that, and that, and then this. I really wish this would let you select in straight lines, or at least that it would be smart enough to realize when lines mean to be closed. But then again, you know, like I said, this is a free program, and you get what you pay for, so I mean, I can't complain too much. I forgot to make her shoes the same color as her dress. That's okay. I can do that next time. You know, in a few hours when I come back to this. Alright, where's my brush control? Because I accidentally grabbed that window and I didn't mean to. There we go. Alright, so now I can just select it all. I'm sorry I'm not really talking that much. I'm just trying to focus on this because it's turning out well, but you know, when things turn out well, they do take effort. Again, I don't usually get people's approval for the sketches that I do, but I think I might start trying to make a practice of it where possible. So, can't even remember if I actually turned my phone on silent like I'm supposed to. I hope I did. There we go. Just because I like that to be kind of neat. Then I can take this and fill in my layer. And then let's turn on background color. Yeah, that should be a solid foundation for this. I'll just go here and fill in the shoes, which do not have closed line art for some reason. Or no, my reference is set to layer, not canvas. And I'm going to unlock that and get rid of this stray little line there. Alright. So yeah, now I'm going to sign out, and I'll see you guys again in a few hours. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.